I was actually hearing the voice of the mountain. He told me, "Do you know what is beyond that mountain?" And he told me, "I think that you should go to Kedarnath." I didn't know about Kedarnath. I didn't know about the Shiva's temples. I just covered myself with some Indian clothes and saris. I tried to be invisible. Somehow I was feeling that I was going towards the right direction and someone that was calling me from my entire life. I felt I shall go away. Maybe it's not the space for me. And then I started to see the temple. I was in Rishikesh. I remember that day that I was in the room um, during my Panchakarma treatment, and I was having this mountain in front of me, and I was actually hearing the voice of the mountain. At the beginning, I was thinking that I was mad, something was off with me. Um, but then I just realized that that voice was real, and that mountain was saying to come on the other side. And I didn't know what was beyond that mountain, but this intuition was pushing me to discover what was there. And I decided to change my place where I was staying during the pandemic. And I that day that I was hearing that calling, a friend gave me the possibility to move in another place, and that was what I did. And when I came into the new place, um, still that the mountain was still the voice was still coming into my mind, and I met this guy. I met an Indian guy that was a volunteer of the foundation of Sadhguru. The first day that I met him, he told me, without that I mention anything about that voice, he told me, "Do you know what is beyond that mountain?" And I was saying, "No, please tell me what is beyond that." And he told me, "I think that you should go to Kedarnath." I didn't know about Kedarnath. I didn't know about the Shiva's temples. I was, discovering um, the places around me, but I was still in Rishikesh and I didn't know about that place. So when he was telling me the story about Kedarnath and the flood that happened years ago, and um, the sadhus that were there taking care of the temple, I just felt that that was the place that was calling me, without having any kind of understanding about that. So I just felt, let's go there. Like, it's the time for me. I have to go there. And I just cover myself with some Indian clothes and saris, and I try to be invisible for the guards, the police, and I just because it was a lockdown, so I was not. I mean, this is, I don't know if it's something that we can share, but I was feeling that it was what I was supposed to do. And I just decided to go, and I managed to find transport, and I started to walk towards Kedarnath. I remember that I stopped in Gupta Kashi, and from that place, I was already starting to see some babas that were traveling towards Kedarnath, and that energies was so supportive and so exciting, and Everybody around me was just greeting me with Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Kedar, and that energy, that vibes were just resonating inside. And I felt, yes, these are my kind of people. I just have to find them, to follow them and find someone else. Um, Again, it was completely logical, but this energy was pushing me forward. So I stayed in Guptakashi for a while, um, observing them, seeing their rituals, and then um, I continue my journey until I reach this little village before to start the hike for to reach Kedarnath, and that was the moment in which a police guy asked me for documents, and he recognized that I was not Indian, even if I was trying to hide myself at my best. But somehow he allowed me to go, and he just told me just one night, and I didn't reply. I just smile, and I left, and I start my hike to Kedarnath. So that journey was one of the most exciting and exhausting of my life, because I was not having neither the proper shoes. I was in my slippers. I was having just a blanket and a small backpack, a light one, because they told me that it was tough to go up, and I didn't want to be too heavy. So I was starting to walk, and meanwhile stopping somewhere to have some chai and paratha, to put some fuel in the machine. And then I was starting already to meet great people and pilgrims, and I remember that energy that was just so sweet and um, empowering at the same time. Everybody was committed to reach the temple, and I didn't know anything about that. Like, I mean, just a few informations that I got from, like, by this friend that was talking me about Kedarnath, but like it was completely new for me, and somehow I was feeling that I was going towards the right direction, and someone that was calling me from my entire life. So slowly during the journey, people were telling me more stories about Kedarnath, and like small pieces of the puzzle that were coming together to understand better which kind of place was that, and how important was for yogis and many people that were trying, to reach the temple even in bad health conditions, and I was starting to see like old people that were tired to go up, but even though they were old and they were ill, they were trying to do their best to reach the peak, and they were helped by others, and it was such a journey. Like, I think that the like that day, the journey towards Kedarnath was so fundamental and important, then to be ready, to be open, and meet the sadhus there. So the weather changed so many times. It was sunny at the beginning and very hot. Then the cloud came, and it started to be very mystical and even scaring. And it was like a kind of metaphor of life. Like, I had in that day, like all the kind of things that in life can happen. I've seen love, I've seen misery, I've seen uh, fears and the compassion and friendship, and it was just amazing. And I was always in tears all the time, laughing and crying at the same time. And at the beginning, of that hiking, I didn't know what to expect, but at the end I just felt that was a way to destroy myself, to somehow, yeah, a new beginning, and to be open to a new life that I was looking for. So the last kilometers were in the dark, and I remember that I was seeing just few lights, that just some small little shining dots in the dark. And I asked to these friends that were with me, what are that? What are them? What does it mean? And they told me, each of them, it's the light of one of the sadhus that are living in the mountain, and we can go to find them somehow. And the biggest light was the light of the temple. So I got so curious about that, because I wanted to discover all that small lights that I was seeing along the path. So at the end, I reached the space, and when I enter into the that area before to see the temple, I just felt another energy, another kind of vibration, and I didn't know what to do. From at one, like, I remember that I felt I shall go away. I maybe it's not the space for me. Like, for a few seconds I was hesitating, because it was too strong, and I said, maybe it's not my time, maybe I'm making a mistake, maybe it's, I don't remember exactly, but it was a kind of, are you ready to go, uh, to enter into this space? Because once that you enter, you cannot go back. So either you come with the, being humble and open to everything and completely abandon and surrendering yourself, or it's better to not come. So I was just there, but it was a kind of few steps more that I was completely sucked in. And so I felt that moment of what to do. And then at the same time, like someone was pushing my back and bringing me into that space, into that bubble. And I felt, whoa, like that was, I was not, it was not me, because I was not sure what to do once that I was entering in that area. And then when I was in, no doubts were there. Like, it was like my mind was completely silent, and I started to walk. And I remember my legs were so tired. I was not able neither to walk. My feet were completely broken, because I was in my slippers, of course, and I was just having this blanket, and it was cold, and I was just walking and walking, and this energy was just pushing me forward. And then I started to hear some voices of the locals that were, because it was late, it was night, and they started to say, "Come here, we can host you. Let's have some chai, let's have some hot water." And I was just walking, walking, and walking. It was impossible to stop my feet. And then I started to see the temple. And that temple was so magnetic that was attracting me. And I stood in front of him. Just, I mean, I don't know why I say him, but I stood it in front of the temple. And um, and then some music was there, some sounds were around, and I was hearing voices of people that were reciting mantras. And then I've seen him. I've seen Baba Dandi, this Naga Sadhu that was going towards the temple, playing the drum and chanting. And that vision was so surreal and so unforgettable that I just felt I'm home. I know this scene, even if I don't know the scene.